Joy Guru. Today I would like to discuss about why do we need to give maximum trace on the assignment of repeating holy name. What does it offer actually? And how many times do we need to sit, for this assignment of repeating holy name, and how to make it most interesting? It is said in almost all the religions, I should say, though religion is one and only one, but maybe opinions may differ. But for the sake of discussion, let us say that we differentiate the opinions rather as religions. In almost all the religions, it is said that obtaining godlyhood, or rather godliness, is the ultimate goal of our lives, I should say. And even in the Buddhist, Buddhist religion, it is said that to achieve enlightenment is the goal of the life. Whatever may be the terminologies, the essence remains the same. Now, in our Hindu religion, I should say, Gita is a very important book, as we all know. As a matter of fact, Gita is ranked among ranked very high, or its quality is very high among the religious scriptures of the whole world. And in India, it occupies just next to Upanishads. And it is assumed, or it is said that, it is summing up. Gita is the summing up of the knowledge of Upanishads. Now, in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the path of devotion is by far the most simplest path for obtaining godlyhood or godliness. And it is given in the 5th sloka of the 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where it is stated, actually Arjun asked this question to Lord Krishna, that you taught me about Gyan Yoga, that is the path of knowledge, and now you are talking about path of devotion. Which one is greater or lesser? You can say which one is better or which one is easier, whatever. These are the, you can say, this is the essence of the question, that he wanted to know, in which way the path of devotion is special. In this respect, Lord Krishna stated this sloka, that is 5th sloka of the 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where he says like this, that is, Kleshodhikotarostesham abhyakta shakto chetosam abhyakta hi gotiri dukkham dehavat bhiro vyapate. Now it means that for them who have their minds attached to the unmanifest, the struggle is greater. For the goal, which is the unmanifest, is attained with difficulty by the embodied one. It means that after all, we are embodied one. We are embodied persons. We have a form. We have let's say for myself, I have a name and I have a form. After all, I am an embodied one. I cannot think something which is not embodied one. In other words, which is unmanifest. So therefore, Lord Krishna has stated that it is always better to think about someone who is manifested. You can say manifested, in manifested form. In that way, the sadhana will be easier. As a matter of fact, the path of devotion is said to be the most easiest pathway. And in this pathway, one needs to take a holy name from a Sadguru, and he needs to repeat or chant this holy name and he needs to watch the embodied, you see, the rather manifested, you can say, symbol of the holy name. That is the Sadguru. So therefore, this is the route for, you see, in the path of devotion. And I must say in this connection that by Sadguru I mean the God Himself, whom we say Purushottam, that is the Supreme Person. He is the manifested form of God, you can say. Purushottam, or the Supreme Person, is the manifested form of God. So therefore, in the path of devotion, one needs to, you see, one needs to repeat the holy name that the Sadguru has given. Sadguru, in this, as I have already stated, Sadguru is none other than God Himself. When God comes as Purushottam, that is Supreme Person, as Lord Ramachandra has come, it is said that Lord Ram, Krishna, Buddha, Jisu, like that. There is a series actually. No, Supreme Person. So when a person takes a holy name from the Sadguru, and when he repeats the holy name, then he needs to watch the picture of the manifested symbol of the holy name. In this case, the Purushottam himself, that is the Supreme Person himself. So this is the easiest way. Now the question is that while taking holy name, we need to give maximum trace on the practice of this assignment of this, that is for repeating the holy name or chanting the holy name and watching the manifested form of the, you can say, symbol, or the, you can say, the embodiment of the very very life of the holy name, that is the Purushottam or Sadguru, whatever name you may give. Now, so the first thing that we need to give trace on this practice, or you can say on this assignment of practicing holy name. See, this is very important. Now, what does it offer? And secondly, that is, or you can say thirdly, how many times do we need to sit for this assignment of chanting holy name? And fourthly, I should say that how to make it most interesting. So these are some of the, you can say, some of the points that we need to discuss. And in this connection, I must say the sayings of Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha in this regard. And let me, he told it in Bengali language. I have translated it, and I must say at the outset that my translation may have several errors. As a matter of fact, I have translated his, you can say his essence. It is not actually a literal translation. Now let me read the translation. Now I see my translation at first. He has stated that trace needs to be given on repeating holy name. Then intellect can be used or applied on any assignment at will. Again, intellect can be withdrawn from any assignment at will. I never withdrew my intellect from anything. As a matter of fact, it never occurred in me. You see, I applied my intellect to the fullest on any work of my interest, as and when I thought prudent. When I switched over my intellect to other work, then I applied that to the fullest extent. I never repeated holy name sitting on a pacific posture. I used to run about. On few occasions, I sat down. In these situations, I repeated holy name. However, whatever way I did it, you see, I did it instinctively. Never did it as trick or as tact. But by imitating my way of repeating holy name, you must not think that repeating holy name in sitting posture is not required. Repeating holy name in sitting posture and that too in regular fashion is very urgent. At least 2 times, namely at dawn and dusk, is very necessary. During these times, body, that means the head and face, needs, the body needs to be covered by cloth, as this device, this device resists the influence of external ambience or external surroundings. Again, throughout the day and night, repeating holy name in sitting posture at least for 2 minutes to 10 minutes is required whenever situation permits. But sitting at dawn and dusk is required to be performed throughout life. At anywhere and everywhere, you need to keep with you a large handkerchief or bed sheet. Whenever time permits, you need to repeat holy name using those items, as Muslims say namaz or prayer. As we remember about our wives, just after newly wedded times, we used to awake whole night, recollecting moments with wives. But after few years, this infatuation almost ceases to exist. It becomes dull, that is, least interesting. You must not let this practice of repeating holy name as dull or least interesting. To me, repeating holy name is never dull, is never less interesting. It is always all interesting, all new to me. So this is the sayings of Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha in this regard. Now, if we closely examine his sayings, then we can get some of the points. You see, first of all, that is trace needs to be given for practicing the holy. We can say for practicing, or you can say for chanting holy name. This is very important. Why? As I have already stated, that the most easiest pathway for obtaining godliness is definitely the path of devotion, as Lord Krishna has stated to us. But then you need to repeat the holy name, as much as you can. This, trace should be given to this aspect. This is very important. Now, what does it offer? If we really go on repeating the holy name, and if we go on watching the picture of my love Lord, that is the manifested form of God, that is the Purushottam, that is the Supreme Person, then as Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha stated, that what happens actually? He has stated, then intellect can be applied on any assignment at will. This is the saying of Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha. That is, if we go on increasing this assignment of repeating holy name and watching love Lord, then we can have the ability, we are rather capable to use or to apply our intellect on any assignment, at will. So it clearly means that by repeating holy name continuously as much as we can, and by watching the picture of the love Lord as much as we can, it enhances, it increases our intellect. The question is why? Because we know that we have intellects. All of us have certain amount of intellects whatsoever. But we do not always know that, in which assignment my intellect should be used or should be applied at all or not. This is the $1,000,000 question. For example, I am telling you, I can give you a kind of example, you can say, example. Let's say I am a very efficient lawyer, and then a client has come to me. He has committed a crime intentionally, and if I move for him, if I appear for him in the court, then I can use my intellect to the fullest extent, and I can somehow, make him, make him absolutely, let's say, guiltless. In other words, I can make him free by using my intellect. But should I apply my intellect in this case or not? This is the million-dollar question. In this case, if I go on repeating the holy name, if I go on repeating or if I go on watching the picture of my love Lord within the mirror of my mind, then my intellect, or you can say my intellect, will say that it is not proper to use your intellect in this case, because in this case you are using your intellect, I should say, in towards wrong direction. Here lies the distinction between intelligence and knowledge. A person may have intelligence, but this does not automatically mean that he has knowledge, because knowledge is always auspicious. It is always auspicious to all, but intelligence may not be auspicious for all. There are so many persons we know, they are very intelligent persons, but they use their intelligence, for wrong purposes. Maybe for earning huge amount of money. For example, in this case, if I appear for this particular client, I may get huge amount, crores of money, for example. But then, in that case, I would use my intellect towards wrong direction. This should not be the case. This should not be my move. So therefore, this very, you can say the consequence of repeating holy name, continuously, as much as you can, and by watching the holy name, the picture of my love Lord in the mirror of my body, continuously, again, as much as we can, this particular assignment would give me this intellect, that where and when I should apply my intellect. So therefore, the first point, you can say, from the sayings of Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha, we get that if we go on repeating the holy name, if we go on watching the picture of my love Lord, then my intellect would enhance. There is no doubt, there is least doubt about it. This is the first thing. And the second thing, second thing that I would be rather intelligent enough to understand that where to apply this intellect and where not to apply. Next is, but very many people, very many intelligent people cannot do this. This is the trouble, because maybe they do not, they do not give maximum trace for repeating, the holy name or for watching the picture of the love Lord. Maybe they have taken initiations from Sadguru. Even then, since they do not give maximum trace for this particular assignment of repeating holy name and watching the picture of the love Lord, they do not have that much intelligence to understand where to apply his intellect or where not to apply his intellect. And next is that how many times do we need to do this assignment of repeating the holy name? Here, Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha stated, well, let me tell it that how, or you can say, what are the ways that Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha did this assignment. His case is somewhat different. He is telling like this, that I never, he said that I never, I never repeated holy name sitting on a pacific posture. He didn't do that. I used to run about. On few occasions I sat down. In these situations I repeated holy name. However, whatever way I did it instinctively. That is, never I did it as trick or tact. So therefore, Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha did it completely differently. He did it while he was roaming around, while he was running about. Therefore he did not do this assignment of repeating holy name. By the way, or you can say by sitting on a floor, not like this. But he has cautioned us that but by imitating my way of repeating holy name, you must not think that repeating holy name in sitting posture is not required. So therefore, Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha stated that we need to do this assignment of repeating holy name or watching the picture of my love Lord by sitting posture. You see, in sitting posture, this is very much required. And how many times? Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra stated, the repeating holy name in sitting posture, and that too in regular fashion, is very urgent. This is the saying of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. So this is very important. After all, we are not Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. We must remember this point in our mind. We must bear this in our mind. So therefore, he has given us the instructions that we must repeat the holy name in sitting posture, and that too in regular fashion. You see, and he has also stated that at least 2 times, namely at dawn and dusk, is very necessary, because these 2 times, rather these 2 periods of time, you see, is of immense significance, because of the fact that these 2 periods of the whole day and night are somewhat common quiet. You see, common quiet. So here we can repeat our holy name more. You can say, we can repeat the holy name in more better way. Possibly this is the reason. And then he has stated that during these times, body, that is particularly the head and face, so the body needs to be covered by cloth. Why? He has stated, as this device resists the influence of external surroundings. This is very required, because whenever I would do this assignment of repeating holy name, then I need to cut off from the influence of the external world, and for this we need to cover our head and face with a piece of cloth. This is the statement, you can say this is the suggestion that Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has given to us. But remember, for them the situation is entirely different. They can do it, you see, wherever and whenever they wish. That is their case. But for us, we need to cut off the influence of the external surroundings. For that, we need to cover particularly our head and face with a piece of cloth. This is the suggestion of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. And then he has stated that again throughout day and night, repeating holy name in sitting posture at least for 2 minutes to 10 minutes, you see, is required whenever situation permits. That is, apart from sitting on 2 times, you see, we need to sit to do this assignment of repeating holy names for at least, let's say, for 2 minutes or for 10 minutes, whenever time permits, whenever situation permits. This is also the suggestion of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. The reason why, that we need to attach our minds with that supreme person. This is the you can say motto. This is the purpose. So therefore, we need to connect ourselves with that supreme persons whenever we get the time and whatever situation permits us. So next he is also telling that by sitting at dawn and dusk is required to be performed throughout life. That is, these two times, mainly at dawn and at dusk. These 2 times sitting, doing this assignment of repeating holy name, this is to be performed throughout the life. This is the suggestion of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. And then he has stated that at anywhere and everywhere you need to keep with you a large handkerchief or a bed sheet. Whenever time permits, you need to repeat holy name using those items, as Muslims say namaz. As you all know, after all, you see, Muslims, they have an unique feature, that is, they say namaz or prayer whenever they get the time, and that's why they take a piece of cloth or a big handkerchief. As Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has instructed us that whenever and wherever we go, we need to take a cloth or a handkerchief, so that we can sit on that and we can say namaz. That in our case, we can say our prayers. In other words, we can do this assignment of repeating holy name and watching the picture of our love lords. And then, so this is also a salient point of the sayings of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. And then he has stated very important, I should say, saying. That is, we must not make it dull. We must not make this assignment of repeating holy name or watching the picture of the love Lord as dull or you see at you can say or least interesting. No, we will have to make every efforts, we will have to make every provisions, we will have to make every every possible measures, so that this process, or you can say the process, you can see this process of repeating holy name, or this process of watching the picture of the love Lord should be always more interesting. It should be it should be new to us. As Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has given a very nice example. Actually, he has stated that he has stated like this, that as we remember about our wives just after newly wedded times, we used to awake whole night recollecting moments, you can say moments with wives, but after few years this infatuation almost ceases to exist. It becomes dull or least interesting. To me, you must not let this practice of repeating holy name as dull or least interesting. And Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra stated that to me, repeating holy name is never dull, is never least interesting. You see, it is always all interesting and new to me. This is a very, I should say, significant saying, and we should think seriously about this saying. It is a fact that we people, when we are newly initiated, then we get maximum, you can say, enthusiasm to practice, or for this assignment of practicing, or chanting holy name, and watching the picture of our love Lords. But after a certain period of time, this interest, this you can say pace rather ceases. So therefore, and the entire exercise may seem a bit dull, a bit less interesting, I should say. But Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has instructed us that you must not make it less interesting. You make every effort, you make every provisions, you make every possible, you think every possible, you must think every possible avenues, so that this assignment of repeating holy name, or you can say the watching of the picture of the love Lord, should be interesting, most interesting, and it must be new to us. This is the suggestion that Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has given to us. So therefore, in conclusion, I would like to say that we can take some of the points from the sayings of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. That is, number one, that is that we need to give maximum trace for this assignment of repeating holy name and watching the picture of our love Lord within the mirror of our minds. This is the first take, I should say. The second point is that the contribution of the, you can say, the contribution of this particular practice is that our intellect would increase, and not only that, we can be prudent enough to apply our intellect, towards good direction, not towards bad direction. And third point is that we need to practice this assignment of repeating holy name and watching the picture of love Lord at least 2 times, in a day and night. That is at dawn and dusk. And thirdly, and not only this, apart from these 2 times, we need to go on this. We need to practice this assignment whenever time permits, whenever situation permits. Maybe for 2 minutes, for the, you can say, in the minimum side, and for 10 minutes at the maximum side. And next is simply this, that we must cut off the influence of the external surroundings while we will practice this particular assignment, and for this we need to use a piece of cloth to cover our head and face particularly, and and then we need to keep a cloth, wherever we go, whenever we go, so that we can sit anywhere and we can do this practice, that is, do this assignment, as Muslims say, or you say, as Muslims they observe namaz, or you can say they say namaz. And lastly, we must make this process as most interesting one, and so that it seems always new to us. So this is for today. Jai Guru.